AI isn't coming for your job. It's coming for your salary if you're still doing things a $20 a month bot can do better. Think about it. Right now, in 2026, AI can write cleaner code, build more precise financial models, and draft legal contracts faster than any human. Your degree? It's losing its moat every single day. But here's the twist. While everyone is rushing to learn how to prompt, they're missing the bigger picture. Scott Galloway, the outspoken NYU professor, and the latest research from Harvard have identified 5 specific blind spots where algorithms are completely blind. These aren't technical skills. They aren't about being better at math or faster at data entry. These are survival skills, human-centric fortresses that AI simply cannot storm. The reality is harsh. AI is a mediocrity killer. It's designed to wipe out the average. So if you feel like you're treading water, if you're worried that your career has become a race against a machine you can't outrun, stop. In this video, we're going to decode the 5 anti-AI skills. We're moving past the marketing hype to find the real insurance policy for your career and your portfolio. From the art of rejection to trust architecture, we'll show you why being more human is actually the most profitable investment you can make this year. Let's dive in, because the future doesn't belong to the machines, it belongs to the people who know how to use them while remaining indispensable. Many people are desperately trying to learn how to coexist with AI. They're taking prompt engineering courses, buying AI-powered productivity tools, and hoping to stay one step ahead. But Scott Galloway, marketing professor at NYU and a man who doesn't mince words, has a much more radical perspective. Don't just learn to use AI, learn to do the things AI hates. Why? Because of what I call the average trap. Think about the way algorithms work. AI is trained on the totality of human data. It takes the sum of everything we've ever written, coded, or designed, and it distills it into the most likely, most logical next step. In other words, AI is the ultimate machine for producing the average. If your job involves summarizing data, writing standard emails, or doing basic analysis, you are effectively competing with a machine that can do average work for near zero cost. In the world of 2026, the value of average is trending towards zero. As Galloway bluntly puts it, AI wasn't built for you. It was built for the top 1%, the CEOs and the major shareholders who want to increase margins by replacing expensive human averageness with cheap digital averageness. If you are average, you are expensable. If you are average, you are an expense to be optimized. But here is where the hope comes in. AI has a massive, glaring weakness. It is incapable of being truly human. It cannot feel, and because it cannot feel, it cannot handle the 2 most important drivers of high-value business: rejection and inspiration. This brings us to the first 2 skills in our survival kit. Skill number 1, resilience, or the ability to handle rejection. Galloway points out a fascinating, almost tragic trend in younger generations, especially young men. Because our world has become so frictionless, where you can order food, buy stocks, and find a date without ever having to look someone in the eye, we've lost our rejection muscle. AI is the king of frictionless. It never gets tired and it never feels hurt, but it also never takes risks. In the high-stakes world of finance and business, the biggest rewards go to those who can walk into a room, get told no 10 times, and still have the grit to walk into the 11th room with the same energy. The machine can't handle the friction of a difficult negotiation or the emotional toll of a failed venture. If you can develop a high rejection quotient, if you can become the person who is unfazed by the word no, you become an asset that no algorithm can replace. Resilience is a human superpower that scales as AI automates the easy stuff. Skill number 2, storytelling, the art of inspiration. AI is great at information. It is terrible at meaning. You can ask an AI to write a report on why a stock is a buy. It will give you the PE ratio, the debt to equity, and the moving averages. It's logical. It's average. But will that report make a room full of investors feel the vision of the company? Will it make them believe in the founder's dream? No. Storytelling is how we move billions of dollars. It's how we build brands that people love enough to pay a 40% premium for. Think about Steve Jobs or even Elon Musk. They aren't just selling hardware, they're selling a narrative about the future. Galloway emphasizes that in an era where data is a commodity, the person who can wrap that data in a compelling, emotional story is the person who gets promoted. AI can give you the facts, but it can't give you the why. If you can master the bridge between data and emotion, if you can tell a story that makes people care, you're not just a worker anymore, you're a leader. And leadership is one of the few things big tech hasn't figured out how to automate yet. So, we've established the baseline. AI kills the average, and your first line of defense is being the person who can handle the no and the person who can tell the story.
But as we move into the next part of our breakdown, we need to go deeper. Because being resilient and being a good talker is just the foundation. To truly be unfireable, you need to understand how to navigate the messy, unlogical world of human relationships, what Harvard calls social intelligence. And trust me, this is where the machines really start to struggle. Let's look at how to build your social fortress. But storytelling and resilience are just the outer walls of your defense. To truly build a career that is unhackable, we need to step into what Harvard Business Review calls the ultimate human fortress, social intelligence. Here's a reality check. AI is brilliant at logic, but it is fundamentally clueless when it comes to the messy, unscripted world of human office politics and deep-seated client emotions. According to HBR, while algorithms can predict market trends, they fail miserably at navigating the silent room, that moment in a meeting where tension is high, subtext is everything, and a deal is won or lost not on data, but on a vibe. This brings us to skill number 3, friction handling. We live in a frictionless era. You can trade stocks on an app without talking to a broker. You can buy a house online without meeting a seller. But high-value business, that is still, and always will be, full of friction. Think about the most successful investors you know. They aren't just good with spreadsheets, they are masters of the difficult conversation. They know how to de-escalate a heated board meeting. They know how to tell a client they've lost money while still maintaining the relationship. AI can't do that. An AI agent follows a script. It can't read the room. It can't sense the subtle shift in a founder's tone that signals they're about to quit. If you can become the person who leans into the friction, the one who can handle the human heat of a complex negotiation, you become indispensable. Why? Because most people today are hiding behind their screens, losing the ability to navigate real-world conflict. You aren't just a worker, you're the human lubricant that keeps the gears of big business turning when things get ugly. That leads us directly into skill number 4, trust architecture. Let's be honest, in a world where AI can deepfake a CEO's voice, generate hyper-realistic expert reports, and automate thousands of personalized emails, what becomes the rarest commodity on Earth? Authentic trust. Galloway often talks about how the younger generation, especially those who grew up communicating primarily through apps, is losing the trust advantage. When every interaction is optimized for speed and lack of friction, we stop building deep roots. Building a trust architecture means you are investing in the long game. It's the ability to build a relationship where someone is willing to hand you $10 million or trust you with their company's future because they know your character, not just your LinkedIn profile. Harvard research suggests that in an automated economy, social capital becomes the ultimate currency. AI can generate 1,000 leads, but it cannot build a reputation. Think about the circle of trust in the investment world. Most big deals don't happen on a public exchange. They happen in private networks. They happen because of a phone call between two people who have 10 years of history together. If you are the person who prioritizes face-to-face connection, who understands the nuance of a handshake, and who protects their integrity above all else, you are building a moat that no Silicon Valley startup can disrupt. But here is the twist, and it's a big one. Being a great communicator and a trusted partner is powerful, but in a world overflowing with information, there is one final skill that separates the leaders from the followers. Because let's face it, in an era where AI can produce a perfect financial report in 5 seconds, the most dangerous thing you can do is believe everything the machine tells you. How do you stay the boss of the bot? That requires a shift from being the one who does the work to the one who judges the work. In the final part of our breakdown, we're going into the most critical skill of all, the one that will define the winners of 2027 and beyond. It is the skill of judgment. Let's talk about how to become the ultimate human filter in a world of digital noise. Now we've arrived at the apex. We've talked about resilience, storytelling, and social intelligence. But by 2027, there is one skill that will stand above all others. It is the difference between the person who gets replaced by a bot and the person who owns the company that builds the bot. That skill is judgment. In an era of infinite information, knowing things is no longer an advantage. AI knows everything. The World Economic Forum recently highlighted that as we move toward 2027, analytical thinking isn't just about processing data, it's about filtering it. We're moving from a world of execution to a world of vetting. Think of it this way. AI is the most efficient Nole 30 execution slave in history. It can generate 100 investment strategies, 50 marketing campaigns, or 50 business plans in the time it takes you to blink. But here is the trillion-dollar question. Which one is right? AI has no skin in the game. It doesn't understand risk. It doesn't have the judgment to know when a data point is an outlier or when a market trend is a trap. This is where you come in. You are no longer the one doing the math. You are the omchu rakwitin, the decision maker. Your value is no longer in the hours you spend working, but in the quality of the decisions you make. In the investment world, we call this human alpha. It's the ability to look at a perfect AI-generated report and say, wait, this feels wrong. The geopolitics don't align with the sentiment here. That gut feeling, that's not magic. It's the highest form of judgment. So how do you invest in this? Remember, investing in yourself is the only portfolio with a guaranteed Lai-Swut KEP that no market crash can wipe out. To help you get started, here is a 3-step roadmap to sharpen these 5 skills every single day. Step 1. Seek friction. Stop avoiding the difficult stuff. If you have the choice between sending an email or making a phone call, make the call. If there's a conflict at work, don't hide. Volunteer to mediate. You need to build your rejection muscle and your friction handling skills in the real world while everyone else is hiding behind ChatGPT. Step 2. Become the filter, not the sponge. When you use AI, don't just copy and paste, challenge it. Ask it, why is this wrong? Or what are the risks you're missing? Practice the art of judgment by vetting every output. Treat AI as your junior intern, not your boss. You are the one who signs off on the final product. Step 3. Master the human narrative. Once a week, take a complex set of data and try to explain it to a 10-year-old or a friend who knows nothing about finance. If you can't make them care, your storytelling is weak. Refine the message until it sticks. Remember, the person who tells the best story wins the capital. The transition from 2026 to 2027 will be brutal for those who define themselves by their output, but for those who define themselves by their judgment, trust, and resilience, it will be the greatest era of wealth creation in history. You aren't fighting the machine, you are presiding over it. We've covered the what and the how, but as we wrap up, we need to address the why. Because at the end of the day, all the skills in the world won't matter if you don't understand the fundamental shift in the human moat. Let's bring this all together and look at the one thing that will remain priceless when everything else is automated. At the end of the day, AI isn't a monster under the bed, it's a storm. And like any storm, it will blow away everything that is light, shallow, or easily replicated. But for those who have built a foundation on the 5 skills we've discussed today, this isn't a crisis, it's an opportunity.
Your human moat isn't built on how fast you can process data or how many emails you can churn out. It's built on the weight of your responsibility, the depth of your connections, and the sharpness of your judgment. Remember what Scott Galloway reminds us: AI was built to serve the rich and the efficient. If you want to stay on the winning side of that equation, you have to stop trying to beat the machine at its own game. You will lose that race every time. Instead, lean into the things that make you uniquely, stubbornly human. Be the person who can handle a no without breaking. Be the one who can tell a story that moves hearts, not just spreadsheets. Be the trust architect in a world of deepfakes. And most importantly, be the one who has the courage to make the final call when the data is ambiguous. You now hold the secret weapons for 2027. The question is, what are you going to do with them today? Out of these 5 skills, resilience, storytelling, social intelligence, trust, and judgment, which one do you feel most confident in, and which one keeps you up at night? Drop a comment below. Let's start a conversation about how we're all navigating this roadmap together. The future is coming fast, and AI won't wait for you to be ready. It's time to stop treading water and start leading. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next analysis.